Morning, guys. So, my name's Louis. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan, and we're here to just learn as much as we can about Elvis, the life of Elvis, anything around Elvis, his friends, his family. And the big reason that we are all here together is because we are defending Elvis. We have our own movement where we're searching for the truth, and we're looking for any unfairness that has happened to Elvis, anything that's been unfairly portrayed, and we're going to stick up for him. So sometimes we're going to say things that people don't like, but generally we're going to try and analyze and research so we get to as close to the truth as possible. Doesn't matter what the subject is. And today I wanted to learn more about Vernon's wife, Dee, and her kids and their relationship with Elvis. I think from what I've been reading, that Elvis didn't like Dee and was fuming that Vernon had got married. But he was very good with the brothers. And I'm still learning about them. I think there's strong views from Elvis fans about the three brothers. That aren't they known as? Let's have a look at them. Let me just get them up a minute. So we've got Rick, David, and Stanley. Yeah, Rick, David, and Stanley. Is that the right names? Oh, no, actually here, Rick, Billy, and David. So we've got Stanley is the last name. So Rick, Billy, and David. Now, I know almost nothing about them. I don't know anything about Dee. So we're just going to flick around and learn together. The kids are here, so there could be some noise. If I have to quickly shut down to sort things, I will. I've got about an hour, and then we're out for the afternoon. We're going to go shopping, go McDonald's. Hi, Nadia. You're having just having coffee after my steak. Nice. Morning, Rio. I am live. So what steak was it, Nadia? I'm having a cup of tea. So the last question you asked me, which is why I sent you that message, Nadia, was who did Elvis see that had a baby? Oh, nice. Ribeye is the best. Ribeye is the best. Well done. So the last question we spoke about was who did Elvis see that had a child? And I said it was Susan Henley, but I did double check. And as far as I can see, it is Susan Henley. And I'm still trying to see if there's any others. So guys, anyone watching this, if you know of anyone that Elvis was seeing that had already had a child, I'm trying to prove that Elvis did not have a problem with a woman that had a child, and that is a complete lie. And I'm also, stevia is not a very nice taste. It's not. I've tried stevia, Nadia. It's not very nice. Don't bother. If you know, there's no answer because you have to get used to not having sweetness, because obviously your body is craving the sweetness, and it's not easy. The way I did it was I used cream. Cream gave it a nicer taste, and that is what got me off the stevia. Okay. So anyway, if any of you know of a woman that Elvis was seeing that had a child, I want to know about it so I can prove that this is a big lie, that Elvis doesn't sleep with a woman that's had a child. Because Susan Henley had a child, but this thing where Priscilla, for 40 odd years, has been saying that Elvis wouldn't sleep with her because they'd had a child. I don't believe it. I think it's rubbish. I think it's because he'd caught her being unfaithful just after Lisa Marie was born, a year after the wedding. So I need support on this by researching and letting me know where I can find the evidence that Elvis did sleep with women that had children, even though I know it's a bit close to the knuckle, but you get where I'm coming from, guys. Anyway, so I'm just going to read the odd few bits. Now, just so you know, Nadia, we're talking about We're going to learn about Dee Stanley, who I think there's a lot of people that are not happy with her because she said some quite weird things. And her kids, as far as I know, Elvis was very good to her 3 kids. Yeah? So Vernon's father married Dee Stanley on the 3rd of July 1960, and it was his 2nd marriage. Elvis's mother, Gladys, passed away during Elvis in his army service on August the 14th, 1958. Dee Stanley was married for 10 years with Sergeant Bill Stanley. When she met Vernon, she left her husband in 1959, who was stationed in Germany. I mean, that's a big thing in itself. She meets Vernon, who's obviously the father of Elvis Presley, the most famous man in the world that was super rich, that was living round the corner. Yeah. And she dumps her bloke. And obviously she had 3 kids. So it doesn't ring well with me, guys. It doesn't ring good with me. So she left her husband. She left her husband in 1959, who was stationed in Germany, and went back to the States. Vernon followed her shortly afterwards. The couple married on the 3rd of July 1960, but Elvis did not attend the wedding. Well, from what I've read, Elvis was fuming that Vernon had started seeing Dee, and even to the point where he made them live in the house behind Graceland. Is this correct, guys? I mean, just the fact that she left her husband with 3 kids. It's a no-no, isn't it, guys? So, and even Vernon, guys, I'm going to have to be honest, even Vernon getting with a woman that's got 3 kids that was married, it's a no-no, guys, a no-no. What is your opinion? She had her eyes on Elvis first. He didn't want to know, and she, yeah. Hi, Eileen. I personally, I don't think this makes Vernon look good either. I know he was probably heartbroken. He'd lost his wife, but Vernon knew it was going to upset Elvis as well. So I don't like it. Dee is some piece of work. She fancied herself, went after her husband, then spreading lies. And I've read a few little bits about all these lies that Dee was saying. We'll see if we find any of them. Yeah. Don't forget, we're learning as we go, because I don't really know nothing about her. Yeah. But just the fact that she left her husband, who had 3 kids, says a lot to me. Says a lot. And then even Vernon, sometimes he made some bad choices by the sounds of it, because you don't get with a married woman that's got 3 kids. I'm sorry. It's not right. That's just my opinion, guys. So where are we? Elvis did not attend the wedding. It is well-known fact that Elvis had trouble accepting the marriage, of course. And he felt it was too soon after the death of Gladys. I agree. And to him, his mother was irreplaceable. Elvis and Dee would never become best of friends. He was, however, very happy with his 3 new brothers, Billy, Rick, and David. And I've read many things about Elvis was so good to those 3 boys. And we've even seen 2 of them, haven't we? They were going around in the go-kart with Priscilla, Elvis, and Lisa Marie. And to him, his mother was irreplaceable. Elvis and Dee would never... Right, okay. Elvis had always wanted little brother, and now he had 3 all at once. Over the year, they would become part of Elvis's entourage and go on tour with him. And Vernon and Dee divorced at the end of 1974. There we are. I didn't know that. Vernon and Dee divorced at the end of 1974. I know nothing about that. Let's have a look. Okay. So let's just find a bit more about Dee first before we move on to the kids. See, this is what we call learning as you go, guys. But there's one section in there called another wicked stepmother. Right, let's just click on this, see what it said. We'll just see what it says, yeah? Dee Stanley Presley, Elvis' stepmother, who enraged the singer. Right. It is widely chronicled the fact that Elvis Presley worshipped his mother. Right, let's have a look. According to Priscilla Buelow Presley, the young girl Elvis would later marry, he couldn't stand her. It is often said that the loss of his mother and the discomfort of his stepmother led to a creation of so-called Memphis Mafia, not crooks, just an entourage that Elvis built around him like a wall, leaving largely insulated from the real world until his death. Okay? Elvis was already a massive singer and sex symbol when his father, D. Stanley, married in 1960, still grieving for his mother. He could not forgive for thinking. He could not forgiven for thinking. It's not clear. He could not be forgiven for thinking that his new stepmother was a gold digger. Had he been alive, he would not, no doubt, have disliked his stepmom even more after she claimed in a book about the dark side of Elvis after his death that he had shared a bed with his birth mother. Well, what's wrong with that? My kids slept with me when they were small. Big deal. So what? It's not a big deal, is it? When they're big enough, they move out, don't they? It was shocking claim, clearly amid at selling books and cashing in on Presley's name. In the same book, she also accused Elvis of being immoral and out of control. Okay, well, I can see why she was unpopular. So maybe Elvis got his love of women from Vernon. Are the boys Billy, Rick, and I think it's Billy, Rick, and David, Nadia, but I'm still learning, mate. You got to tell me. So, do you know what? Nadia, you say maybe Elvis got his love of women from his father. I just think men have got it in them, haven't they? It just, at a certain age, the hormones kick in and that craving for the opposite sex comes. And it happens to you girls as well, doesn't it? She was one of the first to reveal Elvis's abuse of prescription drugs, sleeping pills, and like she claimed again after his death that he had been responsible for turning her own 3 sons, his stepbrothers, onto drugs. Whether latter claim is true, who knows? Okay. So Devada May Elliott, always known as D. All right, so her real name is Devada. She said in the biblical way, meaning incestuous relationship. She also claimed Elvis was gay. Yeah, it's rubbish though, isn't it? I think I did read something about that earlier on. It's just rubbish, isn't it? It's ridiculous. So Dee was the daughter of James Wright Elliott and Bessie May Health. She was born in 1925 in Waverly, Tennessee, a small town named by its founder and admirer, Sir Walter Scott, but whose spelling was not quite up to standards of the great Scottish writer who wrote the Waverly series of novels. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. Right, okay. Right. But she is known to have first married Billy Stanley as a master sergeant in the U.S. military, and her 3 sons, her first 2 babies, were stillborn. That's not good, is it, guys? I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So she had 2 stillborn babies. In 1959, she was in West Germany, married to Billy Stanley. Well, Elvis, my wife, I can hear the horn beeping. My wife's out for the day. She's on her friend's birthday, her friend's 41st birthday. She's getting a train to Bristol. My wife does like a drink, so I won't see her now till 1 in the morning. When she gets home, she'll be drunk. Do you like a drink, Nadia? Hi, Colleen. Hi, Eileen. See, I don't drink anymore, but I used to when I was a DJ. All right, have a nice time. Love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Shut the door. My wife's called Aurora. And she does like a dabble. She does like a drink. Let's have a look. So in 1959, she was in West Germany, married to Bill Stanley, whilst Elvis was in the country as part of a 3rd Armored Division. Because of his star status, Elvis had his father, Vernon, around much of the time. It had been written that D. Stanley was infatuated by Elvis, and as many women around the world were at the time. But when the singer expressed no interest in older women, she became close to his father. They married in 1960, much to Elvis's frustration. Some knew him and called it rage. Right. After Elvis returning from the army, his relationship with his stepmother remained on the deep frozen side of Chile. He did, however, develop close friendship with Dee, 3 sons, and gave them jobs among his entourage as drivers, bodyguards. By then, the whole worldwide star, he also bought a home for his father, Vernon. I didn't know that. So he actually bought Vernon a home and his stepmother on Dolan Drive. Did you know that, guys? Elvis bought Vernon a home on Dolan Drive for him and Dee. And his stepmother on Dolan Drive, right, in Memphis. So close to the singer's own mansion. See, I always thought that he lived in the house behind Graceland, but no. Okay, so it's Dolan Drive that was close to Graceland. Right, so the teenage schoolgirl, Priscilla Buelow, whose Elvis met in Germany, was conveniently allowed to live with Vernon and Dee, with the backdoor access to Graceland away from the paparazzi. Right, okay. I get it now. So the house was behind Graceland, and the back door was very close to the new house on Dolan Drive. And yes, we know this, that when Priscilla first moved in 1963, I think, to live with Elvis, that initially it was agreed with Priscilla's parents that Priscilla would live with Vernon and Dee at first. Right. And this is behind Graceland. Elvis would later marry Priscilla and have a daughter. One of Dee's sons, David Stanley, wrote after the singer's death, "I have never seen a human being in my life abuse drugs like Elvis." Let's just read some of your comments. So Nadia, so if Susan had a child in 66, then that shows right there that Elvis didn't have issues with being a woman after childbirth. That's it, Colleen. That's it. With Susan Henning. But I'd like more evidence, and let's find someone else that Elvis was seeing that had a child. Because I want to really prove that this myth that is repeated around the world, that Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that had a baby, is a lie. And whoever started that lie, we don't know 100% it's Priscilla, but it's likely, yeah, in our opinion. I want to prove that lie and kick that lie out to touch. Boom. Big lie. And I want you guys to help me. Right, let's have a look. I like my pints of Guinness, Nadia. I like a Guinness, actually, even though I don't drink. But Nadia, just so you know, I used to run pubs, bars, nightclubs. And I was a DJ for 26 years in my bars, pubs, and nightclubs. But I also run restaurants, cafes, and fast food takeaways. That's what I did for nearly 30 years. Right, remember, you're being quiet. Here they come. Right, what do you want? Say what you want. Say hello. Spider. Right, can you say hello? Right, can you say hello to the people?
No.
Oh.
You got
You got a what?
slime.
So we've just been to a school fair. There we go. We've just been to a school fair. No, you're not sitting here. You're going to go over there. Because, no, when you're here, all I can hear is your phone. Come on, your sister's here and your brother.
I want to sit.
Right, yeah, but are you going to be quiet? Because there's loads of people listening.
Yeah.
If you promise to be quiet, I like you sitting on my lap. But if you're going to make funny noises, say hello. Say hello. We've just been to the school fair. And they got a bag of sweets. Did we have fun? And they're with me today because Mum's away she won't be home till about 1 a.m. So, yes, Guinness. We do like a drink, Nadia, but I stopped drinking 10 years ago. But when I used to DJ, I did drink. And I even used to have a cigarette. Very naughty. I do not smoke. I do not drink. I haven't for over 10 years. Right. Okay, maybe got to turn that right down. So, right, I want to read this out, so you have to be quiet. I like my pint of Guinness when I lived in Ireland. Oh, you lived in Ireland? That's interesting. My son, I have a 27-year-old son called Andreas, and his wife is from Ireland, and her parents live in Ireland. One day I'm going to bring all these people on my live and introduce them to you. Like, I want my twin brother, I want to get him on the live to say hello to all you guys, because he's an Elvis fan. Except occasional in the summer. Gin and tonic. Yeah, I do like a gin and tonic. When I was drinking, gin and tonic was one of my favourite. Don't like wine. I cannot stand wine. Ugh. But my bars and restaurants specialised in wine. Been there, got the t-shirt, but don't drink no more. Eileen, my wife loves a drink, but she does not drink at home. She only drinks maybe once every 2 months, but when she does drink, she gets quite drunk. And my wife is very funny, very funny. When she's drunk, she's hilarious. Ricky Stanley is the one who gave Elvis his packets of medicine. Thank you, Sandra. And I've watched that interview. And is he the one, Sandra, is he the one that gave him his last doses of medicine as well? Right. Hi, Annie. You know that I've done a long video on your... I've done a long video on your long, very detailed message that you did for me concerning Elvis's life and his dating history and the time and what he was doing in between 1969 and... Oh, I can't even answer that. Right. Let's leave that. I'm not going to answer that. So let's have a look. So where are we? Yeah, so we're talking about Annie. And Annie, I did, just so you know, Annie, welcome. Thanks for joining in. I did go through, I did make some notes of your, you know, where you was letting me know when Elvis and Priscilla had spent time together in Hawaii and the Bahamas, in Colorado in 1969, and Christmas together in 1970, and the JC Awards in 1970. And Priscilla would go to the Vegas shows in between 69 and 71. And also they spent an Easter together. I could tell you've done a lot of research and attended. Oh yeah, they went together to meet Muhammad Ali, or to see Muhammad Ali boxing, and they also attended the Tom Jones show. And what else? Oh yes, about his relationship with Kathy Westmoreland, and also another Tom Jones show. And what else? Oh yes, Joyce Bova, that you mentioned the relationship with Joyce Bova. And I learned today that the reason Elvis visited Nixon was because he was on his way to meet Joyce Bova. Is that true? So thanks for all that research you did, Annie. I found it really interesting. And the answer to your question is, do I think they were having a fake marriage through those years? Yes, I do. And the one bit that I think stood out in all this is a lot of this was done while she was secretly seeing Mike Stone. So most of what you've messaged me here, Annie, she was secretly seeing Mike Stone. And a lot of this happened after Priscilla had been unfaithful with Steve Pett, the dancing guy, the dance instructor. And my overall thing is that once Elvis had caught her being unfaithful in 1968, after Lisa Marie was born, after the wedding, that there was no relationship, but he tried to save face. He didn't want a public divorce, so he did try and sort of do things with her. In my opinion, don't think they were having any sex, and I think that's the reason that they weren't having sex, because she had been unfaithful to him and he couldn't bear to touch her. That's my opinion. I also think that he probably would have tried to make a go of things if she hadn't then gone on to have this secret affair with Mike Stone. So I think her seeing Mike Stone ended any possibility of any kind of reconciliation. But I also think this: if she had been faithful and not seen Steve Peck, things may have turned out differently. But don't forget, once he realised that he's still single, and that once Priscilla had completely let him down, and he realised Priscilla isn't the person that he thought she was, that there was a dark side to Priscilla and that he couldn't trust her, I think that he went on to see other people. And Kathy Westmoreland and Joyce Bova are two of the people, but other people as well, because he classed himself as a single man, really, from 1968. Priscilla, really, she ruined any chances of ever making a go of it with Elvis by how serious what she did with the dance instructor was. And I still stand by this, that there's no way that I believe that Elvis would not have sex with a woman that's had a baby. I think that's complete nonsense, a total lie. And Susan Henning is proof of that, because he was seeing her in 68 after Priscilla's unfaithfulness, and she had had a baby. So that is a lie as well. Elvis is not the bad guy here. Unfortunately, Priscilla is. Because, come on, let's be honest. What woman has an affair months after they've had a baby, within a year of being married? Come on, that's as extreme as it gets. This isn't Elvis in 1963 having a silly fling with Anne Margaret. This is broken marriage vows just after the birth of a baby. It's completely different. So if Elvis goes on after, to have affairs or different relationships because of such treachery, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Yeah, man, get your slime out. Anyway, let's go through the comments. So we're trying to learn about Dee Stanley and her boys. But because Annie came in on this live stream, I did want to quickly tell Annie what I think. And Annie's last thing was that she didn't want to make judgment. Unfortunately, I do have to make judgment, because our channel is about defending Elvis and searching for the truth and standing up for him and trying to pick out the lies, pick out the nonsense, and stand up for him. And so I'm going to have to make judgment. I've got no choice. Yeah. So I get your point. If you're not running this channel, if you're not running an Elvis channel and you don't want to make judgment, that's completely your right. I respect that. Yeah. And, but I do, Annie, I tend to feel that when I read your comment that you are swaying towards Priscilla a bit. I think if you really sort of think it through, you may sway back towards Elvis, because Elvis didn't go to that extreme. Elvis didn't go to the extreme of, I think Elvis during the engagement and during the marriage, in the first year of the marriage, was faithful. I think when Lisa Marie was born, he was faithful. But once he caught Priscilla being unfaithful just after Lisa Marie was born, everything was changed. The rules were gone. The marriage was broken. And whatever happened after that was her doing, was Priscilla's doing. Anyway, let's keep reading. Right, so been there, got the t-shirt. Thanks, Eileen. Sandra, Ricky Stanley is the one who gave Elvis his last. Yeah, I've read a bit about this, and we need to research this more. Dee didn't want Priscilla living with her and Vernon because she had 3 little boys. Thank you, Annie. The Memphis Mafia perpetuated that storyline. Thank you, Annie. Right. Let's keep looking. My blooming messages keep jumping out. Can't drink in here, really. Guinness. I'm not totally teetotal, Nadia. I would have a drink, but it's just I don't bring alcohol home. I don't go out drinking. But if I went on holiday, I would have a drink. I'm going to Spain in August, so I'll drink on holiday. Dee was a liar and really wanted to be with Elvis. Yes, we've just read that. That's Sandra. Thank you. Yeah, I've just read that. Thank you. I don't trust the Stanley boys. One was a drug, got arrested. Elvis bailed him out. Thanks, Eileen. We're going to look into this. And Eileen's one of my members. Please join, guys. Click the join button. Did Tino make crafty stuff to sell at the fair. Tina. Yes, he's asking about your slime. Show her your slime. And this is his pot to put it in. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. They loved it. And Yasmin loved it as well. Thanks for that, Nadia. So Annie says hello. Annie, the green one, says hi, Tino. Say hi to Annie. Say hi, Annie.
Hi, Eddie.
Right. So your son is cute. Yeah, he is. I had a son very late in life, guys. Very late.
And it's Yasmin and Tina.
I'm an old dad, aren't I?
And it's Yasmin and Tina.
Yes, I have Yasmin as well, and she's 7.
Look,
But you have to be quiet.
Look.
Yes, there's a slimy snake. I know. You'll
Look at that quickly.
tried Eileen. So 15 years in Ireland. All right, you lived there 15 years. I'm going to ask my son. His name's Andreas. What part of Ireland she's from? Because they do visit sometimes, but they're living in Bristol. My son works for IBM. They're like computer software. My son Andreas, who's 27, is very smart, very clever. Hello, everyone. I'm enjoying the podcast. Philomena, Australia. Yes. How are you? Welcome. Glad you caught us. No, Annie, I like your comments. Annie, keep them coming. You taught me so much. Everything on here, Annie, you taught me. Everything. You do your research better than I do. So no, we definitely won't fall out. I thank you. I thank you for it, Annie. Let's have a look. Hang on, I need to make a new coffee with a little honey. Yeah, I think a little bit of honey. Nadia, a bit of honey is okay. It's okay. It will. It does make you. I will say this. It does keep you feeling hungry, Nadia. It does keep you feeling hungry. So Rick Stanley gave Elvis his last packets of medicine. Right. Let's keep going.
Make me a
So Eileen says Vincenzo didn't trust those brothers. Who is Vincenzo? Please just remind me. Colleen. I had read a while ago that Priscilla was on the beach with her sister and they were invited to think it was Engelbert Humperdinck's hotel room. And they went and she told her sis not to tell Elvis. Oh, that's an interesting story, Colleen. I'm going to look that up. Definitely. Let me take a picture of that. I'm going to take a picture of that comment. Yeah, don't worry. Right, I'm going to take a picture of that comment, Colleen, so I can Google that. Humperdinck. And I've got a video of Humperdinck praising Elvis. Right. Lamar Fike said she already warned Elvis out from the age of 14. Okay. Lily. Hi, Lily. Nice to catch you on because we don't normally catch you, but I do read your comments. She said hello to Tino as well. That's very nice.
Oh, yeah, colour.
Hello, Natividad. Thanks for all your comments. I do read them. From New Mexico. I don't know if you already have discussed this, but Vernon asked Ricky or David if they had killed his son Elvis. I didn't know that. So again, I'll take a picture of that, Natividad, so we can look that up. That's an interesting one. Eileen, yes, 6 weeks. Let's have a look. Right. No, you got to be quiet. Let's have a look. Elvis tried to make things work and give her another chance in late 71 or 72. She didn't want to, but she had a falling out with Mike P. and called Elvis saying, yeah, I've read about this, Nadia. I have read about this, but there's no way he was going to take her back. She was seeing Mike Stone secretly for a year. The only reason she knew who he was because Elvis had took her to a karate exhibition. No way he was going to take her back. I don't care what anyone says. Elvis did not want Priscilla back. Yes, maybe secretly he regretted the way things turned out and he couldn't bear another man having her. That's a typical male ego thing. But no, as soon as she broke the mold,
Dad,
unfaithfulness.
look, I'm a spider.
Oh, that's good. Unfaithfulness. Guys, I'm a bloke. unfaithfulness breaks the mold. If you think someone is innocent and trustworthy, and they are unfaithful, you break the mold, and it's never the same. And I've got friends that have been in situations where their partner has been unfaithful, and it's never been the same again. Once the mold is smashed, there's no going back. Right. So that is true, Nadia. Elvis told her not to take it for granted. His words in the divorce. Yeah. I've read that as well, Nadia. Thank you. I heard that Vernon first thought his son was murdered. I haven't read that. Another good comment. I need to take pictures of these comments. That's very interesting. Hi, Kathy. Hope you're well. Kathy's one of my members. Yo, Kathy.
Kathy, who's
Guys,
Kathy?
join up. Join the rest of the gang. She was pregnant at the time they were married, straight from Nancy Sinatra. Right, so Sandra, she was pregnant at the time they were married, straight from Nancy Sinatra. Sandra, have I mixed something up? Who was pregnant at the time? Let's have a look. Please let me know. Yeah, I've been to Spain loads of times. Love it. Love it. Girl, I've never been. Right. Thanks for joining us, Kathy. Cute. Hey, friends. Hi, Nivea. Nivea, how are you? What country are you in? Kathy says hi to Tino. Elvis' cousin Billy Smith said Elvis was going to make some changes after this talk. He wanted to get full custody of Lisa Marie, but of course Elvis died. Has anyone heard this? So Elvis' cousin Billy said Elvis was going to make some changes after the tour. I have watched some interviews with Billy Smith. I like Billy Smith. He seems very genuine. I hate the way that he was outcast. Wasn't he told to leave his mobile home that he lived in at Graceland? I think, and he's never mentioned in the more recent films. And I'm like, it's just so unfair. And his wife as well, and his son as well. Just the Smiths have been treated so badly, so badly. So, Sandra, when did Nancy say that? Nancy arranged Priscilla's baby shower for her. Yes, I know about the baby shower. It was in that, Annie, it was in that big tower. That giant tower, wasn't it? I've read about that. Eileen, lived in Spain for 2 years. I'm hoping a pigeon to come home. But I'm a homing pigeon. Yeah, I'm like that. Eileen, I'm a home person. I always want to be home. I'm like that. I can't help it. I've always been like that since I was a kid. We're going to Mallorca. We could ask Smith about custody. We could. Right. I'm not sure about the whole custody bit. Right. Right. Okay. I've seen a few Joan Rivers interviews. Sandra. Elvis was going all gospel for his next tour in 1978. He was taking a long break. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was going to be a gospel tour. That's interesting. Very interesting, Annie. I'd like to look that up. Love Billy, Joe, and Danny. Yeah, they're brilliant. Their channel's great. I watch it. It's good. The pic of them holding the cup was for Elvis's wedding anniversary. Okay, then. Thank you. I'm talking about this long tower there's like a building that is a tower, and at the top of it there's a restaurant, and that Priscilla had, I thought, did the whole wetting the baby's head, or was it the whole something happened. She celebrated something up there. I read it the other day. The Smiths are down to earth folk. Hillbillies are not fitting in the Hollywood star for Priscilla, and some others are into. Yes. Don't worry about that. So you've got to be quiet. So the Smiths are down to earth folk hillbilly. Right. Baby shower pics. Elvis isn't on them. Just the girls. Okay. So let's. We were reading about D. Stanley. Let's see if it comes back up. Right, so there we go. So let's try and get to the bit where we were on. Right, I just want to get to the bit. Elvis returns to the. Let's get to where we were. Right, I think the bit I was on was about David. Let me just think. Let's see if I can find it. Right, so this one is called My Brother Elvis, The Final Years Reflect on Life Inside Graceland. So David E. Stanley was 4 years old when he first met Elvis Presley and moved into Graceland. Yes, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Natividad. What did they celebrate there? What was it? Do you know Natividad? Because I read about it the other day. So Elvis Presley moved into Graceland, one of the three stepsons of Elvis's father, Vernon Stanley, relocated to the mansion after his mother Dee divorced his father to marry the king's dad. That's terrible. You guys are not getting a break. Right, okay. Lisa, I never kept in touch with the Smiths. She could have when she was grown up and married. Yes, I agree. The way that they haven't been treated right, have they? Kathy, Elvis was planning on leaving Ginger because he didn't trust her, and Billy said that he would have never married her, or he had a girl waiting for him to go on tour with him. I've read this, but not just that. I mean, I know that Billy did not like Ginger. I did a few videos with Billy Smith talking about Ginger, and he did not like her. I wonder if it'll come up. It might come up. Let me just put it in. And also, I did a video with the nurse, with Elvis's nurse, so Tish Henley, and she said that Elvis was not happy with Ginger. She says it in the interview. Billy Smith. Let me see if my video comes up. I did it a while ago. Videos. We want shorts, don't we, really? The day his mother died. No. I have found one. But I want the one talking about Ginger Alden. Let's see if it comes up. I don't think it's going to come up. I've done one. I actually did a video on Billy Smith saying that he doesn't like Ginger Alden. It's not coming up. So, but he definitely thought that she just wanted to go out and party. This is what Billy said. She wanted to go out and party. Elvis was getting too old to party, and she refused to live with Elvis, didn't she? So, okay, let's go back to that thing. So, I just remember that Vernon and Elvis thought Ginger and Ricky were having an affair behind Elvis's back. Elvis told his dad his concerns. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, I watched the interviews with Ginger Alden, and she does come across very sweet and innocent. She speaks very highly of Elvis, and her parents sued the estate to pay. Yes, I know about that. So Ginger Alden's parents sued the estate to pay for the house they lived in because Elvis had promised to pay their mortgage. Thanks for that, Eileen. Very interesting. Ginger seems nice, but I don't think she tells it like it is. I agree. I get a feeling that she has reinvented history to suit herself. I'm not even convinced that they were properly engaged. I'm not even convinced that they would ever have got married. She says that Elvis even planned to have children with her. I don't know. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. And the truth is, she was only 20 and he was 42. They weren't right, were they? They just weren't right. Yeah. There's more to the story. So Dee divorced his father to marry the king's dad, Stanley, and would be forever shaped by that moment from the early days, welcoming ways to touring with the legend as his bodyguards and witnesses the tragic and death. So quite a serious, I think they all wrote books, didn't they? Fate put us there. No bloodlines, explains the author during the conversation of my podcast. He just welcomed us in as his little brothers. Elvis always wanted to have brothers. The youngest woke up that day after their Graceland arrival to the backyard full of new toys. Yes, Elvis bought them a load of toys. Elvis was very excited. He suddenly had these 3 new brothers. Elvis had paid for all of them. I didn't know who Elvis Presley was, but I knew who Santa Claus was, and I just didn't know he had sideburns. This was a guy who spoiled me from day one. This was a guy that replaced my father. My father was swept out of my life. My father was a World War II Korean War combat veteran, a military man through and through, and only battle he ever lost was for his boys. Suddenly, they're gone. Suddenly, here's Elvis. Suddenly takes over and became more of a father figure and mentor than anyone else. Well, I wouldn't say. I don't think that's fair to say that Elvis took over. You know, Elvis's dad had married their mum, so they came to live in America. I wouldn't say Elvis took over, but there's the book. And the book is called My Brother Elvis by David E. Stanley. Stanley shares his fond and tragic memories. Let's get to the points here. He addresses substance abuse issues that were played by Elvis during those last years before his death on August 16th, 1977. Stanley also shares his own personal struggles with substance abuse and recovery. In many ways, Presley paved the way for Stanley's recovery. Elvis's death was my resurrection. He passes away and my makeup call to my road to redemption. I mean, I walked into Elvis's bathroom along with several other guys, and they rolled him over and we cradled him in our arms and saw that sight of a guy that we loved and adored, and especially me. It had a profound impact on my life. I'm next, and I saw firsthand what drugs could do. I saw what abuse can do with medication, and I realized I don't clean up pretty quick myself. I'm next. But I'll tell you the difference with David Stanley and Elvis. David Stanley wasn't ill. David Stanley was just a young man who got into drugs to get high and have fun and get stoned. Elvis was very different. Elvis had inherited some seriously bad illnesses because of the alpha-1 gene and genetic problems that he had got from his mother and his grandparents. And Elvis had serious illness. Elvis really, don't do that. Elvis really needed his medication. Elvis needed his medication. So you can't compare. I don't think it's fair for Dave Stanley to compare himself to Elvis, because Elvis needed 43 pills a day just to keep going, just to sustain him and give him some energy and to sedate him after his shows. I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of research now on all the different illnesses that Elvis had, and he needed his medication, guys. He seriously needed it. Now, did he take too many painkillers sometimes? Well, if you're in that much pain, it's very possible, and he was in very serious pain. The constipation that Elvis had was unbearable. The eye pain that Elvis had was unbearable. Yeah, he had a twisted colon, an enlarged heart. He had a liver that didn't work properly, and many other things. He needed his meds, guys. I've seen many interviews that say that the meds kept him alive for longer. I repeat that. The meds kept him alive for longer. So, keep going, right. Elvis would tap me on the shoulder. He would say, "Good job, son. Tell it like it is. Sometimes we learn from our mistakes. And if the mistakes of mine save one soul, then one person, then so be it, and move forward." Great advice. I have no reservations about being strictly honest about my life with Elvis and about the loss of Elvis Presley, about the ups and downs, about Elvis Presley and Stanley stays as a result of helping someone. That's what matters to me, and that's why I did the book and put it out there. Okay, so that's David Stanley, and I think is he the one that became religious and is a born again Christian? Let's just read some comments. And you can do that. Right, let's have a look. So Dee recently did an interview. In that interview, she spoke badly of Vernon and Elvis. She was very jealous of them. It was weird. Yeah, I've heard this, Natividad. How is that possible? Surely it is. Have I missed the comment? Right, let's have a look. I think I've missed some comments. Let's go back a bit. So Kathy says Elvis was planning on leaving Ginger. He had a girl waiting for him. But Elvis did do a movie at that location. Let's have a look. So Billy said she was a gold digger, and then the girl's name was Alicia. Sorry, I'm playing catch up, guys. Seattle was the filming of It Happened at the World's Fair. Priscilla wasn't with Elvis then. I just remembered that Vernon and Elvis thought Ginger and Ricky were having an affair after, behind his back, Elvis told his dad. Right, okay, yeah. Thanks, Natividad. So I'm just quickly catching up.
Daddy, my phone.
I mean, Elvis was just so generous. Those Stanley brothers must have thought it was amazing. Dee recently did an interview. Okay, yeah, go on then. It's a miracle Elvis did all those shows so well in the state he was in. Yeah, he was superhuman, but he in the interviews I've seen, Nadia, he took uppers to boost him through the shows. He would do 2 or 3 a day, and then he would take the sedatives to relax him so that he could relax between shows. Okay. Yeah, but don't forget I am sat here. Right. So I don't care what anyone says. He was so unwell by 1976. He needed his medication. He needed it. His body had given up. His body had let him down. Right, go on and get what you want. What are you trying to get? Where is it? Oh, I'm not going to be able to do that now. I'm doing it live. Right, I'll get it in a minute. Right, Bill's right. I'm going to take your phone off you then if you're going to do that. Right, we'll come up here. I'll get it for you in a minute. You know you've got a ball in there. Have you seen that? That's pretty cool.
I know.
Get that ball. Should we get it out?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that ball. It's a squidgy ball. Right, let me get it out for you. Ta-da! Look at that. Blum, 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 blum. It's a squidgy ball. Right, let me carry on. I'm finishing soon anyway because I like to end them around an hour. Dee said that she spoke with Elvis 2 weeks before he died, and she said he was crying, and he told her that he was in terrible pain. Yes. Hi, James, my old friend. Hi, James. Hope you're well. Yes. No, he was in proper pain. Come on. That guy, if you've watched any of my live streams over the last week or so, and we've done some on his medical condition, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to have had any of the things he had. And he had like 7 or 8 different serious illnesses that were all causing serious pain. He needed his painkillers, guys. And many of you, like me, are over 50 and over 60 and over 70 and over 80, and some of you are over 90. And you guys know what pain is, yeah? And what do you do when you're in that kind of pain, guys? You take the painkillers. And yes, some of the painkillers can make you feel a bit floaty and a bit stoned, but you need the relief, don't you? And if you've got insomnia, and many of us get insomnia, I used to get insomnia, you take a tablet and you fall asleep because you just want to go to sleep, guys. So I completely understand Elvis sedating himself so he could go to sleep because he had seriously bad insomnia. I completely understand him taking a lot of painkillers because and anti-inflammation tablets, anti-inflammatory tablets like ibuprofen and other things much stronger, because He was in pain.
Can you see my slime?
No. But we'll find that in a minute.
Here.
Oh, there we are. So, Ellen, my point is this.
This.
If you're desperate and your body is really letting you down in every way, you're going to take loads of tablets because you're going to take lots of tablets because what else can you do? It's take the tablets or suffer, isn't it? It's take the tablets or don't sleep. Elvis just wanted to sleep and not have pain. And don't forget, he had such bad swelling. And I learned of this. Wait, no, you have to be quiet. I learned of this new thing. I learned it today. Let me just get it up. Right, remember, you've got to be quiet because there's people. Right, let me get it up. It's called. No, don't do that. Right. It's called peritonitis. Peritonitis. You look it up, guys. Elvis had this close to before he died. This is another one, yeah? Let's put it up. Peritonitis. You look at it. It's a very serious, painful condition. Peritonitis is an infection of the inner lining of your tummy. So behind his belts, he was swollen and infected. It could even become life-threatening. And the cause of peritonitis is usually caused by liver disease. So we know that he had a diseased liver. If you've got a diseased liver, your body isn't getting rid of the toxins properly. So we're talking about a very unwell person here. This is in his abdomen, caused by bacteria growing. So anyone that says to me about Elvis taking too many tablets, I'm like, you need to do your research and find out just how unwell Elvis was. So let's look at see if we can get any of the other brothers on. We've done David. So is it Billy Stanley? Let's see. Let's see what comes up, guys. Right, Billy Stanley, an American author and stepbrother of Elvis Presley. After Presley's death in 1977, Stanley would write 2 books about his stepbrother, Elvis, My Brother, in 1989, and The Faith of Elvis in 2022. So I'll show you a picture of him. It's not very clear. I think he's the one that became religious. Is that correct? Yeah, it must be him because he's written the book saying The Faith of Elvis. I'm sure it's him. Let's see if we get any more information about him. Right, we'll get the book up. Rio, shut the door if you're going to turn that on, please. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see if it does an overview. Billy Stanley knew Elvis Presley as a brother and as a man of deep faith. From the day Billy Stanley arrived at Graceland and received a bear hug from the king of rock and roll. Okay.
And I ate with them.
All right, you can eat it all. It's fine.
And that was it.
Yes. Now, do you want me to open it for you?
Yeah.
So from the day Billy Stanley arrived at Graceland and received a bear hug from the king of rock and roll to the last conversation they ever had, one thing stayed the same: Elvis's passion for sharing God's love with as many people as he could. In The Faith of Elvis, Billy illuminates Elvis's Christian journey from the notes Elvis made in his beloved Bible to his struggles with the sin as his fame increased, to his remarkable generosity towards the fans and movie stars alike. Through the first-hand account, you will find a touching family stories of Elvis that pop culture doesn't know. Sounds good. It actually sounds good. A keen look into Elvis's intricately wove his faith into every part of his life. Insights into the ups and downs of the 4 brothers' experience while at home and on the road together. Examples of profound influence on others, and from the closest to him, he cherished fans and ultimately the world at large. Here you will find your own faith strengthened and your heart turned more towards heaven, as Elvis would say, towards the only true king. Oh, I like that. Towards the only true king. And Elvis many times said, I'm not the king. God and Jesus are the true kings, didn't he? So that's quite nice. I like that. Yes, I've seen that interview, Nadia, that Billy Stanley said he had a near-death experience and met Elvis. I've said, and that is what caused him to become born again. Nadia, yes, Nadia, that's so right. It's time a movie is made about the real Elvis and all the people who mattered to him. Yeah, I agree. We don't. Most of the things we're learning together on this channel, I would say most Elvis fans don't know about it. Yeah, if you spoke to just an average fan who doesn't really do any research. All right, so hi CKC Design, just seen your name pop up. Elvis dated Barbara Lee, model actress in 1970-72. She had one child and was born. Oh, I like that. See, just remind me of your name again, CK. I know you come on regularly. I'm looking. I'm taking a picture of your thing. That's more proof, Nadia. More proof that Elvis would have a relationship with a girl that had a child. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to prove that Elvis did not mind sleeping with a woman that had a child. I'm going to prove that that lie. Go and see it. Go on, go and see it. I'm going to prove that that is a lie. That Elvis had no problem with sleeping with a woman that had a child. And the reason he wouldn't sleep with Priscilla is because she'd been unfaithful. Come on, the baby was just born. And she was unfaithful a year after the wedding. Is there one man on the planet that will sleep with a girl 2 months after she's had a baby that's been unfaithful a year after the wedding? Come on. No man would do that. Right. Right. So we're coming up to an hour, so I'm going to cut it short soon. Right. Nadia, I agree. Danny Smith said that he wishes to make a movie about the human side of Elvis. Sure, definitely, Kathy. So people can see how he was around his friends and family and how much he helped people. Yeah, Kathy, you hit the nail on the head. And you don't see that in the Baz Luhrmann film. You definitely don't see it in the Priscilla film. We want that. That's what we, us fans, that's what we want. Show the real Elvis. Also, you need a film that shows his medical problems, just how severe they were, so the public can know why he was taking so many pills. Everyone calls him a druggie. He was not a druggie. He was a very unwell man that didn't know what to do. He was desperate. He was trying to fix himself. I tried to explain this to my twin brother. Yes, Elvis took a lot of pills, but he was trying to find a way out. He was trying to fix himself. He was like, oh my God, my body's let me down. My body's giving up on me. I feel like I'm going to die. He was desperate to fix himself. And Elvis went to some very extreme measures to try and resolve his health issues. Elvis didn't want to die. He worshipped Lisa Marie. Right, shh. Elvis didn't want to die. Don't do that. Elvis didn't want to die. He worshipped Lisa Marie. He wanted to spend more time with Lisa Marie. He didn't want to die. He wanted to get better. Why would Elvis plan another tour the next day, the day after he died, if he wanted to die? There's no way Elvis wanted to die. Even Ginger Alden says Elvis was very upbeat and looking forward to the tour ahead. Don't forget, no, I'm going to finish what I'm saying. Don't forget, Elvis played racquetball, went to see his dentist the night before, playing on his piano the night before. That isn't the actions of a man who thinks he's going to be dead in hours. No chat. Elvis didn't want to die. He wanted to fix himself, and he was trying everything to fix himself. He was trying everything. I would do the same thing. If I thought I was going to die within months, and I think Elvis did feel that way, I would be running around the world trying to get a cure. I'd be desperate to fix myself. I don't want to die. I don't want to leave my kids. Lisa Marie was so young. Elvis didn't want to leave her. Come on. If he didn't have Lisa Marie, maybe it was a different story, but he did. Right, where were we? Billy Smith also said that he talked to E about women and love, and he told him that his true love was a long time ago before Billy came to Graceland. I wonder who that was. Do you think it was Anita Wood, June Junico?
You say you're going to read that book.
Yes, you like my new book. I bought this for £3.69 off Amazon. £3.69 delivered. Look at it. Brilliant. It's amazing. It's got everything in there you could ever want. It's called The Rough Guide to Elvis by Paul Simpson. £3.69 Amazon delivered to my door, and it literally has everything you can think of. It's about all his songs, his movies, his whole life. It even has a write-up of every movie as well. I love it. I love it. It's great for taking to the toilet, guys. It's a toilet book.
Toilet book?
Toilet book.
Why is it a toilet book?
Because it's so cute and small. You can take that on holiday with you guys. Yeah, oh,
No,
Dixie. Yeah, we know about Dixie Lock. I've done a little video with Dixie Lock, Sandra. Right, so it's, is it line the day to day Elvis book? Is it? I don't know if you can read it, guys. It says yes. It says the rough guide to Elvis. It looks bigger, but it's quite small. It's the size. It's just a bit bigger than my hand, but it's good quality. It's the best £3.69 I have ever spent. Ever. I kiss it. Right, do you want me to open them for you?
No,
right. Okay, so unfortunately, Joyce Bover claimed that EP couldn't sleep with a woman who had a child, hence why she terminated her pregnancy. Truth or fiction? This is what we are trying to find out. It's a lie. It's a lie. We've already proved 2 people that he slept with that had a child. Susan Henning and further back, let me just get the name. You know, you have to be quiet, right? Let me just get the name. So Natividad told me of the name of the other person. This is let's see if I can find it. Natividad, are you still there? Who was the other person he had a relationship with? I can't find it. Nadia, do you remember who it was? I took a picture of the comment. Barbara Lee. Elvis had a fling with Barbara Lee, and she had a child. Thanks, Eileen. That is a massive lie. Do not believe. And who did Nicolette? Welcome on board, Nicolette. Thanks for joining in. Do not believe this rubbish that was invented by maybe Priscilla. Maybe. We don't know that Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that had a child. It is rubbish. It was invented because Elvis had caught Priscilla being unfaithful with the dance instructor after the baby was born, 2 months after. All right, but we're going to finish now anyway because it's time to go out. So, yeah, innit, Eileen? Come on, we standing up for Elvis. So, you know, I will say this to you guys, that yes, Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining in. That I find it very easy to disprove the lies. Very easy. Yeah. Yes. Go on then. Go on then. I'm gonna a couple more minutes, guys, and we're gonna go. But we're gonna go McDonald's. Yeah. And we're gonna buy a toy. Yes, McDonald's and toy and walk. I find it very easy to disprove the lies. It doesn't take long. Thanks, Natividad. I find it easy. Someone says a lie or a wrongdoing or a mistruth or a retelling of history, and I look and I read it and I'm like, it infuriates me. So I go, right, then I just get my phone out, I type in the lie, and within 5 minutes, I've disproved the lie. Disproved it. It's very easy to defend Elvis. You don't need to be clever. And even James, are you still there, my friend? Even James, he does this. He reads something that just doesn't sound right. And then he goes off, he does a bit of research, and he'll message me. He messages me and says, it is a lie. Because some of you, and Nadia is like this. Nadia, I'll say something. Nadia did it today. Nadia, is this correct? I said, Elvis, this thing that Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a child is not true. It's a big lie. It was invented by Priscilla, I think, in my opinion, because she had been caught being unfaithful after the baby was born, after the year-long marriage. Nadia said to me, and she was right to do it, Nadia said, well, who is it that she slept with? Who is it that Elvis has slept with that's had a baby? So she called me out on my thing I was trying to prove. And I did quickly say to her, I think it was Susan Hennon, but I need to prove it. But then we've now had Natividad tell us about Barbara Lee. So we proved to Nadia that Elvis did sleep with a woman that's had a baby. So it's a lie that has gone round the world and been repeated a million times. And everyone believes it. You speak to a complete stranger that just knows a bit about Elvis, and he will say the reason that Elvis and Priscilla split up is because Elvis wouldn't have sex with Priscilla. It is being believed. Yes, Elvis wouldn't have sex with Priscilla because she was unfaithful. A year after the wedding, 2 months after the baby was born. That is why Elvis would not sleep with Priscilla. It's not Elvis's fault. It was Priscilla's fault. Elvis was the victim. Right. I was trying to remember. Thank you. Well done, Natividad. Right. So we've got James. Oh, you are still there, James. James, 2 days before Elvis died, Elvis told Billy Stanley that Elvis was going to make big changes in his life, like firing Colonel Parker and hangers on. Well, that's interesting. Thanks, James. And my point is, guys, that anything you're reading or watching on YouTube or in documentaries, if it doesn't feel right here, Google it and look and do some research, and you will very quickly find the truth. You will very, very quickly find that it's a lie. And when I watch these documentaries now on Netflix, on Prime, on YouTube as well, I very quickly go, that ain't right. That isn't true. Some very reputable YouTube channels, very reputable. Just turn it right down, please. Gina, right down, please. Some very reputable YouTube channels are saying things about Elvis that are complete lies. Complete lies. And they're repeating it. They're repeating this. Not this one. They're repeating stuff like this. Badly written books that are trying to rewrite history that are not true. And we're here to stand up for Elvis. We're going to search for the truth together as a family. We have our own movement, and we are going to search for the truth. And every time we hear anything that doesn't sound quite right, I'm in there. We are in there. And no offense, guys, if a subscriber says something to me that I don't think is right, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to disprove it, even though they're a subscriber. And I'm not being mean or nasty. I want truth, or as close to it that we can get. So, and guys, there's 21 of you watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, because when we go live, we can all come together quickly and start chatting. And any information you find out, guys, please send it me, because I read every comment and I study everyone. Every time you guys say to me, look this up, I do. I just want you to know that I do. And the other thing is this: if you give me information that is helpful on this channel, I use it. I'll make a video. I'll do a live stream. Someone suggested to me yesterday to do a live stream on Aunt Delta and Minnie May, and I did one. So, and there was someone suggested that we do a timeline on all the different girlfriends that Elvis has had, so we can compare it to the unfaithfulness of him or Priscilla. And I've done that, and we did a video on it yesterday. So I'm letting the comments lead the way for how we're running this channel. So I get your comments, and then that's what's happening the next day. Yeah, so your comments are actually the engine of this channel that we run together. So, right, thanks for clarifying that. So sad EP has a reputation of having a Madonna where, yeah, and it's great that we can now prove. Yes, thanks, Nicolette. And do you know what? We need more proof, because 2 people isn't enough, Nicolette. We want more people. We want to really prove it. So, Teresa, we will. And Teresa, I know you're Elvis's #1 fan. I read every one of your comments. We know how much you love Elvis. All right, guys, I'm going to have to go. Now, if you want to join, please join. It's only $1 a month. You can cancel at any time. It just makes me feel good. It gives me a pat on the back that says, I like what you do. That's why I want you as members. I'm not after your money. I don't need money. I'm after my pat on the back. I like a pat on the back. So please join up, guys. Take care. All the best to all of you. Eileen, Teresa, Nadia, all of you. James, all of you. Thank you.